We're good. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the, even though it's April 29th in May workshop. If, before we get started, if I can get everybody to stand for the pledge, please. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you. Before we get started, we have our elected officials here with us today. Got the Deputy Supervisor Steve Moreau, Councilwoman Sylvia Santiago, Councilwoman Eve Lincoln, Councilman Charlie Breaux, Highway Superintendent Antti Fayo, Town Clerk Patty Carino. Also have a receiver of taxes with us, Susan Scheibel, Police Chief Danny Valeri, and the best attorney, Zago. So the first item on the agenda is the standard schedule of fees. I think everybody got the copy of what we're looking to do. If you don't, you can look at the comparables on the sheet I have here. So we're actually going through, we're gonna eventually start a committee to do a pretty comprehensive overhaul in the town code and a bunch of things. One of the things that in our infrastructure meetings, we have the third Tuesday of every month came up some fees for planning board and zoning board and stuff like that. I had our engineer do some comparables for us throughout the area. And they came up with some comparables and I just to throw out different examples, like I'm sure you guys have seen. And we're just going to use suppose it a 500,000 square foot warehouse. If we were to do something like that in the town of New Windsor, the fee would be a $525 fee for the application and a $5,000 escrow, which gets when it gets down to a certain point, then the applicant has to replenish it. The same fee, we'll just say in the town of Montgomery, they pay a $126,650 fee that goes to the town, and then a $101,000 escrow, which gets down. So that same comparable warehouse in the town of Newburgh is $227,650, and New Windsor is $5,525. We got a couple areas like town of Montgomery, the same warehouse is $135,500. Town of Monroe is $90,500. So, we're just trying to make our fees consistent with the areas around us, which would make sense. So, we came up with the fees that were given to you folks there, the current and proposed fees in the workshop. You have them in the red line copies were there. So basically, I think what we were doing, it was agreed to keep the fees at $500 instead of the $525, but the amount was going to be $250 per 1,000 square foot of floor area. Exact same thing the town of Newburgh does. So again, those numbers there are broken down. It also helps the person that wants to come in and put a little 5,000, whether it be a little store or something, they're paying the 250 so they're not going to pay that, the high fee, they'll pay that fee for. So somebody that comes in and puts a 5,000 foot warehouse or something like that, their fee to us would be $5,525. The new fee, if you will, for them. So it's something that I don't know. I propose I threw out there. The planning department is going to get it as well. Once they've looked at it and they feel that it's and through our infrastructure meeting, they feel it's makes sense for us to do this. So I don't know if anybody's got any questions or anything that you want to see. Like I said, there was the red line copy we got in there. We're just going to add them as standard schedule fees. And I believe anybody that has an application in already would probably be stuck with the old way. This would be moving forward once this is approved. And then in that standard schedule fee as well, you see an impound fee there. It's just listed in red, and it's just the bold is the above towing fees and rates shall apply to any and all vehicles towed and stored at the town's own facility. So right now, for instance, if the police department is doing an investigation, they have we call a tow company off our list. They send it here to be processed criminally or whatever, and they're done with it, and then we can put it out at our impound lot in which we have it at the airport. If the car stays there for 3 months, the person that comes and picks it up pays just the towing fee. They don't pay any storage fees because we have no mechanism to charge for it. So we're going to add that in now. So in the event that, for instance, right now we have a truck that's been out to the impound lot for a couple of months. the penalty would be just them paying the tow company. So we're gonna add that to the rates too, for the police department to be able to charge for that as well. So that's it. That's gonna be on the, that'll be on the approval for the standard schedule of fees to increase that. To go along with that, the tow, we're looking to amend the tow law. Although I thought we were gonna have it, I'm kind of pressing Dave a little too much here in the attorney's office. I thought we were gonna have it done, but we had some other pressing stuff pop up, honestly, which could benefit the town. So, in the meantime, we're gonna we have to amend the towing law to allow those fees to be charged. With that, I actually sent a message to the chief, and his deputy chief and the lieutenants. I believe the Lieutenant Fayette got assigned towing maybe. So Lieutenant Fayette was talking to the attorney today, a couple of things that we're just looking to, adjust in our towing law. So we're gonna do all that one shot probably next month. Right, maybe, yeah, okay, next month. So we're gonna add the standard schedule of fees to allow for us to charge. And then we'll add, and then we're gonna amend, that in the tow law, whatever the chief and his people come up with. So that'll be on there for next month. Number 3, the P&J properties. Everybody have a chance to look at that while we're done with that. So down on the proposal for this here, for what their owner's looking to do down there in Richetti is he's buying, or he purchased the guy right across from the American Legion there on Walnut. He owns that body shop there. He purchased the land behind that, which there used to be A&R Concrete. The current body shop right now was, we'll call it grandfathered in back then, and that zoning, predated zoning and everything. The property he just purchased, which he wants to do the same operation and he's doing up front to do in that property over there in Richetti, doesn't allow for body shops in that zone. So they came to us for a couple different proposals, what he wanted to see us to do, whether we change the zoning, we edit the bulk tables and what have you. So I think what we're looking to do is add to the bulk tables to allow body shops and mechanic shops, if you will, in the PI zone. I come to find out that when we add this, it's going to change the PI zone throughout the town. There are several little spots in the PI zone in town that all of them, with I believe the exception of one, all have body shops, and they all were there predating the codes anyway. So the application here is for us to add this into that particular parcel behind him, and then it also would change the PI zone in the town. Like I said, there was only one parcel in town, if you like the junkyard down the street here, that's in the PI zone. River Road, where you got Newburgh Towing and stuff, that's in the PI zone. John Street, where there's a body shop now, it's in the PI zone. So they have these in the PI zones already. The difference is we're going to allow, we're going to kind of edit it a little bit, and it's going to be also in that particular wording, and the original wording in the bulk tables now is it allows not only for body shops and repair mechanic shops, you also allowed up to sell up to 10 vehicles in these particular places. We're taking that section out. We're not going to allow that in the PI zone. So they're allowed to be just to do what's currently there now, working there. If anybody's going down there, it's actually not a bad spot for it. It actually almost lends itself to the property.
Yeah.
But we'll.
Is there a limit or a cap on how many cars they can have on site one time on the repair shop?
Not for body repair,
Mhm.
I don't believe so. I don't think there is. I think it's just the, it would if there was by special use permit as well. So there is a PI zone, off of like Little Britain Road that would be around some houses, if you will. In order for that to be built there, when it goes to the planning board, if they were to build a body shop in the middle of the woods, honestly, it would be by special use permit, although it doesn't preclude it from being built there. The planning board can put stipulations on it where you have to do X and, a number of things. So, but it is going to be it'll be an edit to the bulk table with special use permit, only for body shops and not auto sales. So
Some body shops, they keep their property pretty neat, but I noticed some in town, they shove the car so close to the shoulder of the road. 'Cause
So
they get
we're
overwhelmed.
on
So,
them.
like, as long as people are clean. about
we've
it.
been on them, and
Yeah.
I will tell you, if anybody listening, if somebody's got a problem with something, let us know, because the minute we hear it, we go to the building department with it and they put their inspectors on it. There's been a couple that, I've noticed that the inspectors went after and they clean them right up. Some of them look really good and some
Yeah.
are not, they're a little slower at listening to us, but I think they'll get the picture. So, we're gonna have to call for a public hearing for this. So this is gonna be something that, we'll end up probably doing, on Wednesday to call for the public hearing for it, and then they'll probably come and put their little presentation on why they wanna do it. If anybody's got any questions or anything. Number. Yeah, I think so. The number 4 on here, so this is, our wells right now down in Butterhill. But if you remember last month, we authorized to rehab one of them. It has never been done since the inception of them. The problem is that I think the cost of it was kind of higher than normal because we haven't done maintenance on them. We've just run them and that's it. With the upcoming aqueduct shutdown and we have to supply the town river water and everything. When we got the price to rehab well number 3, went back to SB Church, who is the sole source provider to do this. They looked at it and they gave us an agreement to do it.
Yeah.
It's fairly inexpensive per well. So, it's really kind of going after our, keeping up on our maintenance on our stuff. So we don't have to spend that money
Right.
on the road. And if they do, they give us, we can do it in dribs and dribs and not like 60, 70, 80, $100,000 at a shot. It's less than $5,000 a well. So I
Right.
just want to just let
But
you know
with
that.
that aqueduct, yeah.
I'm gonna
I remember we
probably,
talked about that.
yeah, and the problem is that we're gonna, it's $4,700,
That's total.
total. Yeah, $4,700 total, so they'll be going, yearly to go through, they go do some maintenance on it, and if they suggest that we need something, we'll go,
Yeah,
we'll go repair it and be on it, and then
Yep.
we'll be in better shape than. they are
For
now.
all wells, you're saying,
All of
right?
them, Yeah, and that's even, pro well, so
Oh, great.
talking about that, yeah. Number 5. Raz Avenue, 930 Raz Avenue, the building, we have up on the airport right now is occupied by ARC right now. We've been there for, 10, 12, 15 years now. ARC is unfortunately, I believe they're out of business, closing their doors. They happened to call upon Abilities First to see if they would be willing to come in and take over their lease from us. Luckily, we kind of stumbled upon it by accident, and then we got them. Dave's done a lot of work with them, back and forth with them to take it over. I think right now, ARC does a month-to-month. Abilities First, we tried to engage him to do a month-to-month, but I believe they're gonna start off that way, and they're gonna want an actual lease from us, right? Dave's in the process of doing that with them now. I think, are they all pretty much set with what they need to have done on our end, or?
In terms of the
The
lease?
ECN.
No,
No, okay. So they're gonna, I believe, so we're gonna talk to in reference to the fees right now. ARC's been paying the same price for years now. I know we're in the middle of some negotiations with BRAC trying to get them to make this for its use, so. But I'll keep you updated on that. I'm assuming probably by next meeting, maybe, I don't know, would that be close?
I think
Maybe.
we'll at least have, something in draft form probably.
Back and forth, okay.
Yeah.
So hopefully by next month, we'll be able to engage and continue with a long-term lease with them. Unfortunately, ARC is, like I said, is getting out, and it was nice that Abilities First actually was
Mhm.
taking over for them. We sent them a letter, Abilities First, thanking them, thanking them for taking over and caring for the kids and so on. I actually made a visit up there. It's actually a pretty nice place, and they got it done up nice, so. That may be on there for next month, hopefully. Foxtail subdivision. Off of Station Road, anybody know where that is?
Mhm.
Foxtail Farms there, so. They, years and years and years ago, they decided they were gonna build there. They had the builder in here. Nice guy. Come in and they're ready to dedicate, they wanna dedicate the road to us. That comes with an engineers to go out there and do a punch list, if you will. And the FHO goes out and checks the roads and, make sure there's no obstruction and so on and so forth. During that meeting with the punch list, there was a few things like they needed to put streetlights in. They haven't done that yet. which will eventually will be, I say our responsibility, it'll be on our radar, if you will. They did not install sidewalks out there, which were on the original plan. Led for me to ask some questions, how this went this long without anybody noticing there was no sidewalks there until it was time for them to do it. Although I will say, if anybody's going out there and looked, it's probably not the greatest neighborhood for sidewalks because the houses are quite a bit ways off the road. It's funny, you do go on Google Earth and you do see a kid in the road on a bicycle on Google Earth, but I mean, where don't you see a kid on the road and bicycle? But it's quite honestly, I think, so the board actually has to approve us to dedicate it eventually with no sidewalks on it. Like I said, I looked at it. I don't think it's a bad idea. I will tell you that the sidewalks are in the town code to be put in subdivisions. I don't, what happened with my predecessors happened back then where there was reasons they didn't allow, they allowed people that, you can build it without the sidewalks for whatever reason they do that. Certainly, I think sidewalks are a good thing in the neighborhoods. They should have them. But out here, it's so rural and they're spread out and they're so far off the road, probably would not be, it'd probably be a pain in the neck for people because now they gotta maintain them and they gotta shovel them and, some people out there don't even have kids, so. I'm in favor of, and I don't know how you folks do, how you feel about us, we would have to approve it. I believe my question, whether it needed to go back to the planning board just to amend their site plan to approve it, they're still kind of in the middle of that, deciding whether they need to just at least document that the town board approved them not to, but we can't do it without it, so I don't know if anybody's against.
Will the residents have some sort of recourse if they all want us to build a sidewalk?
So, no, I mean, at that point, it would be over and it would be dedicated that way. I had a couple of people, so there's like a homeowners group out there. A couple of people apparently threw it out on their homeowners group to see if there's anybody against not having it, and more people cared about lighting, which there is really none out there. So they're gonna be putting lighting in out there. We have some other concerns. Anthony had some street concerns that needed, paving and stuff that I think our engineer now has agreed to their engineer stuff. We're still muddling through some other things that need to be done, but this is something that we need to approve. Not having.
I thought it was interesting. Twice in this letter, he alludes to the fact, the homeowners have never requested it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They probably weren't sold it to them either. They probably weren't showed the site plan. And you think about how many people that went out and bought a house are shown, hey, listen, this is it. And, quite frankly, if you look now, and I get, I never, until you think about it, and I know it's a highway concern. Some people have these nice, beautiful walls that come right up to the sidewalk. That's all great until you got a guy driving a street with a wing plow or something, he whacks it. And then they're like, "Whoa, my beautiful wall you hit." Well, it's in our right of way. It shouldn't be there, So it's, I get it. They probably had no idea they were buying it. And like I said, it's again, it's something that I've told the people that are out doing inspections that next time, if there is a subdivision built, that as they go to a house and they do their first inspection to check if the sidewalk's not there to start putting it in or do shut. I think this is what people do. They rather ask for forgiveness than ask for permission, so they just go ahead and do this. But again, I think this particular subdivision, it fits, without having one. So I don't know if it's something that we're gonna have to do a motion on and vote on, so just so you know, it's coming at you soon. Power home remodeling. So everybody saw they had put an application in. I know our town clerk gave it to me, and I gave it to the attorney, and we've just been bogged down with so much stuff that Dave reviewed it. There is some application things that had to be updated and edited because we've had it for a little bit, some, license and stuff like that. I don't know, it probably would go up for a vote next month. I don't know what anybody's thought is. But so, honestly, we had, I think Sylvia actually fits on it. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago, something about somebody knocking on doors down in
Yeah, a couple
the
people in
neighborhood,
Forest and Butter Hill area,
people
correct.
didn't have credentials and it just causes a stir and it's
Correct.
just a headache. It's just something that, I know I've always hated the fact that, I know I've had a few people knock on my 83-year-old mother's door and she said, all right, I got to ready to check this on me. I'm like, hold on, let me step over and we'll talk about that. So I don't know. It's something that,
And the way the code's right now, we can't get around this. I think we talked about that, right? We would have to end up allowing it.
or you vote and you
Yeah.
Except for the
Into
concept.
that,
It's one or the other, I mean,
I
there's.
think most residents would want us to not allow this. but-
Oh, 100%. Listen, I think the way, like you said, the way the code is written, I probably would be against somebody's rights to just come out and write and say, no, you're not doing it and get out of town.
So I have a question. Has the police department gotten complaints? I think the other day I saw somebody write that, you know, they
They-
called the police department. That's what we've said too,
They,
right?
they issued some appearance tickets the other day to solar people.
So have they gotten a lot of calls about vendors walking around?
Oh,
That's the
yeah,
other question.
they do all the
Gotcha.
time. And when
Okay.
they do, the police respond right then. I suggest people call the police right away. They go out, they ID the people, they check with the clerk's office if there's any permits. If not, normally, if there's a solicitor permit issued, the clerk's office will notify the police department and myself. If she notifies me, I'll give it to them. And they're pretty good with that. If they see people out there.
I was just wondering, since
Like,
we get a lot of complaints, then we can quantify, hey,
We do.
we get X number of people who don't want it and we're getting complaints.
I think
That's a thought.
I agree. I mean, listen, you don't have to convince me. I
Yeah,
think
no, I'm just-
I think the law hat
Yeah.
and on the lawyer side is the one you gotta.
No, guys, I was just remembering because I
Gotta
did
fight
see
it.
people writing that they called the police.
Oh,
department. So I
yeah.
was just curious how many calls did
Oh,
you get?
100%.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, I think it's, they go and they'll, try to sell you a bill of goods and the next thing you know, it's, it just ends up in a problem and then there's someplace else. So, I know they have some homework to do. Once that homework is done, then at some point it's gonna come to us to decide whether we're gonna do it. I'm assuming it's gonna probably be next month. You don't have this for this month, right? You don't have,
No.
this wasn't satisfied yet,
Yeah, I
so.
took them the other day.
Yeah.
She's still trying to fix the deficiencies and then get renewed for additional counts.
Right, oh, that's right, yeah.
They're showing solar panels, right?
So. Yeah, no, this power home remodeling, they just.
Oh, no.
That's just remodeling, yeah.
Yeah, they do
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
Yep. So. So that's gonna be on our desk next month, so I'm assuming if the guy fixes his, the deficiencies in the application.
That's in all the insurance work there.
Yeah. Again, next one, Distinta. The old Distinta there is sure, I'm sure people have seen, I've gotten a number of calls on some of the work that's been going on there. I will say, like, kind of from the get-go, it hasn't started off right. The guy, listen, the property owner lives in New Jersey. He decided he wanted to take down part of two buildings, part of the old, the most recent theater, and then the old theater when I grew up around the corner there. He had the right to do that, and the purpose of it was to take it off the tax maps. He just didn't want to pay the taxes for something there, because he had bigger plans. He wants to put apartments there. I told him it's not zoned for that, so think of something else. He has a contractor there working out of Jersey. The contractor has been doing work, and we've had 3 stop work orders on him for things that were not right. The latest stop work order was because he was just, when he takes a building down, you gotta grade it and fill it in and make it look pretty. The fill that he was putting there was, they call C&D, construction debris. They didn't like it. The fire inspector's office put a stop work order on him and told him he had to pick it all up and get it out of here. So he put it all in a nice pile. I happened to be driving down the street 2 Saturdays ago and I saw 2 of the same construction companies dumping again there. So I got in my truck. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Well, we gotta mix the dirt. I'm like, what do you mean mix it? You gotta take it all out of here. Don't bring more than that. That's not happening. So we put a stop work on them again, and I ordered them to have the dirt tested. Lo and behold, it was not good dirt. So therefore, it's covered now. Miller Environmental's involved, the DEC's involved. So they're stopped now indefinitely until they figure it out. So there is some, concerns with this guy developing, not doing things the right way.
So they were bringing in contaminated dirt and trying to mix it with the construction debris and get away with it.
We're gonna try to bury it. And got
Well,
caught.
yeah, actually, the contaminated was going in. That was
Yeah,
what it was.
It was coming
Thinking
in.
mixing it was to take it away, because they're
Right.
saying, oh, if we mix
Yeah.
it,
He
you go to
wasn't,
different places.
so I said, listen, as soon as he said to me he's mixing dirt and I red flag, there's a problem here. Like, what are you mixing? It's not,
Yeah.
go mix it in Jersey and leave it down there. You don't need to bring it here in New Windsor. And he did. And I obviously knew something was up and they tested. It was, something, it's just,
What did it have it?
yeah, I did a whole bunch of just, stuff that is, you just can't have. And I'm sure you tested any dirt today, you can go down and probably anybody's yard and, grab something that probably has something that doesn't belong in it. So lo and behold, he's been stopped again and, when it does get all cleaned up or remediated, the property owner is gonna be here in the office, and we're gonna have a little talk before you can finish any further, so. So if anybody asks, that is work in progress. They're still gonna try to clean that up, and hopefully, follow the rules after that, so. But that's why that's not moving out of place. So the town, this is the town code amendment, so, like I said before, we're gonna put together a committee, we're gonna use, I'm gonna first go out to each department and tell them, hey, listen, we're gonna amend the town code. We wanna try to do a bigger amendment of it, I know Dave's been working on it, so a lot of bits and parts of it. But to make it a little easier, we're gonna have everybody, like each department head, come up with things that they wanna see that, whether it be the police department, vehicle and traffic stuff, the building department or planning board stuff, the assessor's office, whomever. Receiver taxes, water stuff, we're gonna put it all together and just do one big, overhaul of the, town code. So just so you know, that's gonna come. I don't know if anyone of you guys wanna be involved. If you do, just, when I send the email, say it, and we can, you can be an opponent of it. Or if you're, I think everybody's either got a book, it's online, it's easy to find. If you have a question or something that you wanna see redone, or certainly suggest to, put it to myself in writing, and I'll get it to, Dave, or when we have our meeting on the committee, and we go from there. So that's coming hopefully soon, but we've been bogged down with a bunch of stuff. And the last thing you're gonna see you're gonna see this on the agenda for the acquisition of vehicles. Like everybody should have this. It's a total of $960,200. Anywhere from highway vehicles to recreation, code enforcement, police department. Although it's $960,200 to buy them outright, we do the lease purchases stuff, so it's $187,100 advance payment. It's done through Chase. They were a little bit on it. To come with this, a lot of vehicles are being sold to make up some of the budget deficit, if you will, from that payment. So I think we've done pretty good. The police department already had a pretty much a junk police car that we budgeted to get like $1,500 for, and they got $3,100 for it. So I actually had a conversation with Anthony today. He's got a couple highway trucks we got to try to get rid of that nobody wants on eBay. So we're going to try a different method to get them to buy them. But hopefully we'll make up a bunch of this, but that's going to be a motion on there for the acquisition of vehicles. Their lease purchase. Thanks to Doreen. I just learned that process, how they do these little mini bids, and it's pretty crazy. That's it with the public portion. We're going to executive session.
Make a motion
Steve, make a motion.
to move to executive session.
Charlie, second it.
I would second it.
Nice. Executive session. Dave's proud of me.